need to get Drew like a more gay, timer like Comics Division has.
I'm working on it actually.
All right, good. Not really gay, but just like something.
Beware the Drew.
Beware the Drew. That's what it should say. It should be a countdown.
And greetings, everyone, and welcome. We are off and running, and here is your host, the amazing Supreme Heretic.
Hi, folks. I want to say thanks to everybody for coming in and hanging out tonight. This wouldn't be possible right now without help behind the scenes, obviously, of culture and the support from Stephen and Raquel and everyone else. And I'm just very thankful that I have the friends that I do, because they are indeed a blessing, and we are still able to bring you this show for that reason. And I'm incredibly humbled to have them a part of my life. And I want to welcome everybody in. Our tonight's episode is, I believe we're on Rapture, and it should be a good discussion. Maybe limited on my part, but
Drew, about good discussion. I'm sorry. Can we talk about Supreme Coitus, Coitus Casino, and Coitus Briggs?
No, that's RM Coitus Briggs. Get it straight.
Right. Get it right.
I really wanted to. I was trying to think of something perverted for RM, but I couldn't do it.
You were searching your brain.
I was searching my brain. I was trying to be quippy, and it didn't happen.
How about roof coitus?
Yeah, well, there you go.
How's roof coitus tonight?
Yeah, roof coitus.
Well, so Merkel is the emperor of coitus
and,
at this point.
And Tehillim's in the chat. I see Tehillim. He's wondering if he wants to be a part of the coitus.
Everybody's allowed to be a part of the coitus.
Isn't that called coitus questioning?
It's called a coitus fluid culture.
No, that would be coitus erectus. Oh, look, everyone! Yeah. Parrot coitus just walked through the door.
What's up, Parrot coitus?
Parrot coitus, what's up, man? Hi, everybody. I'm feeling goofy tonight, and I haven't even started smoking pot yet. Let's do this.
Hi, boys and girls. This is Mickey Mouse.
Oh, no.
Mickey the Communist Mouse.
Hey, that's a little strong, buddy.
I'm not going there. I almost no. Okay, next coitus. Sci-fi coitus is here.
Sci-fi Nation.
Oh yes, Sci-fi Nation. How you doing?
We have coitus elements, guys. Please, you can tip using coitus elements.
Sci-fi coitus Nation. How are you this evening?
Hail, coitus Nation.
If people were coitusing across the nation, we'd have a much happier nation. I think.
Indeed.
That's the problem with all the lockdowns. People couldn't get together and
yes. Like Stephanie Little Coitus. Hail, Stephanie Little Coitus. How are you?
Just a little.
Just a little.
A little coitus. There's a little coitus. We're in there. What's a little coitus between friends? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
The stuff that we come up with that this show spawns is absolutely amazing.
Or ridiculous. Take your pick. I mean, come on.
Sci-fi Nation, not only would the women certainly be happier, but all of the men would have no time to make trouble. We would just be passed out half the time.
All of your blood, there's a lot of blood that disappears in those circumstances, those situations, and it goes towards something called engorgement.
Yes. God gave us two heads and only enough blood to run one at a time, and I suspect there'd be a lot of experimentation in the female community also.
So now that everyone is tumescent, shall we change the subject?
Oh my God! What the hell is that word? Why are you teaching me words?
No, not again!
Tumescent is
intellectuals being smart. Oh God!
Sorry.
I know tumescent is the engorgement. Or the arousal.
Okay, well, no, I need to know this word now. You're giving me more perverted words. Tumescent?
Lord.
Yes.
No, not pubescent. Sci-fi.
No,
PlayStation.
tumescent. T with a T, not a P.
Tumescent.
T is in Tom.
Oh, I'm getting tumescent right now. Let's do this. I'm ready to
That's
go.
what I said earlier.
Well, guys, we're picking up where we left off because we saw
really
the
are.
Eye of Jupiter, which is one of my. I liked the episode. We had disagreements about the level of enjoyment here on the panel, and there was not a lot of coitus achieved in that disagreement. But I'm certain that with Raquel's excellent narrative style and her ridiculously good notes, I think we will complete. We will reach the climax of this 2-part episode.
Yes, hail coitus Draven.
Satisfactorily, or perhaps better than satisfying. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, in the words of another immortal Canadian, the great Bret the Hitman Hart, Raquel is the excellence of execution.
Oh,
Oh my!
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with the reference, but it sounds intriguing.
Bret the Hitman
Hart. That's a wrestling reference. That's an old school WWF.
Yeah.
You know, so I think he might be too short. She didn't pay attention to that guy. He was too short. Raquel has heightism, you know. So.
Sorry, I'm bad. I'm a bad person.
Her standards are Viking and lumberjack. That's it.
That is correct. You are correct, sir.
Oh man! All right.
Where's Coitus Doctor? He hasn't been here in weeks.
Yeah.
It's a good question. Where
and Coitus Theory hasn't been here.
Coitus Doctor.
Bear, Curtis, Coitus Fun.
Bear, coitus fun. Now, I just want you to entertain the idea of the homophone in that case. Instead of bear, it would be bear, coitus fun. So, it's all about the homophones at this point.
Hail Wookiee supremacy. Hail Jay Lee. What's going on, guys?
Wookiee and Coitus. Hail, brother. Good to see you.
Wookiee, if you're unfamiliar with the format here, in order to do the review, before we used to sort of like jump around in the episode. So I started writing scene summaries. So these are unique to the Pegasus Actual podcast, and they're written by me. So then what ends up happening is I trigger everybody's memories, and then they can infill anything that I've left out, because I try and keep it as concise as possible. And then
funny.
we talk about the quality of the episode. So we did it on purpose. We talked about it, and we wanted to do this on purpose because so many people haven't freshly watched the episode, but love it nonetheless and want to talk about it. So don't worry, you didn't need to watch the episode in order to be with us here tonight and to participate.
Oh God, Sci-Fi Nation.
What did he put? Coitus interruptus. Canceled fellatio fun time. Oh no.
Oh, hey, old Cabatano Che. Good to see you, brother. Oh man.
Wow, what an amazing compliment. Thank you so much. That's an incredibly kind thing to say.
Thank you, guys. Best chat on YouTube.
You got quite the fan base for this show, Raquel. You really do.
I love you guys. I just try and make you laugh.
That's culture, John.
Well, obviously the chat loves you too.
Yeah, I love you guys very much. Hey, Mark D with the C. My friend Mark D with the C is here.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh man.
Angela says, I never watched Battlestar Galactica. Just love the conversation. I mean, if you enjoy space sci-fi, man, you would love this show, dude. I can't stop. I had to ask them what episode we were on because I couldn't stop last week, and I'm at the end of season 3, and now I have to remember back.
And Angeles, don't make me drive to your, to PA again, and actually sit there and we'll have to have a marathon, dude. Because I will do that.
He's going to have a marathon with you, but he will not mention the word coitus, so you're safe.
And nothing will be erectus. And
thermomus, or whatever the hell that word was. I got to write that down. That means erection. That's a special word for erection, and I don't even know it.
I'll tell you what, I need some marathon coitus. It would probably improve my mindset.
Was it tumescent? Is that what it was? I'm writing it down right now.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Thank you. All right. Tumescent means boner. Thank you.
Yes, that's well. Yes,
actually,
it actually means the other word that Cece used. So
engorged.
Engorged. Engorged is a great word, but now I have a new engorged. That's great.
Yes, tumescent is a good one because you can be tumescent in anticipation.
All I got, the only thing that just popped in my brain was
engorgement?
No, was just,
beware the Drew, y'all.
Just a clip. Just a clip.
Just the tip. Just a clip.
Just a clip of Captain Picard saying "engorge."
Oh my God! I don't want to hear that coming from Patrick.
I actually almost had to have a nap after that stream today because that's what happens when I learn a lot. And I just cannot believe how dense that IP is with like really, really advanced and mature writing. I was not anticipating learning about this extensive IP with extensive list of characters that are so unique, and they even have individual personalities. They're not just tropes. So when I was done, I was like, wow, I need to go have a tea or a nap because this is a lot of information. And of course, Claudia is like a brain, and I didn't know about this niche IP and how incredible it is. So I learned so much today and I had such a great time.
That sounds
and
like
now
fun.
My latex order is going to be horrendous because now I'm going to be doing I wrote them down today as you guys were all talking about them. So I really loved Dream Girl because she's just fantastic, absolutely gorgeous. I loved Shadow Lass. I have to do that one. And I really, really loved when you guys shouted out Emerald Empress. So these are the 3 Legion characters that I'm going to be focusing on learning. First, I'd like to learn about them and read all about them, and then I will cosplay them. And the latex budget is going to be nuts.
Yep. You have me at latex. I'm down. What's going on? I want to be involved in this.
My Kleenex bill might go up in that case. I don't know.
Yeah. Same.
It might make me tumescent.
You're right. Exactly.
I wrote it down. I
want to talk about what Sci-Fi Nation said about making Richard Hatch's version of BSG. One of these days, Sci-Fi, when we finish up doing the season 4, after we get done with season 3, and then right before we get into reviewing the OG Battlestar, the 78 show, I'm going to have a stream one of these weeks where we talk about what could have been in some of the other versions and ideas that they had, because I think that that's a really good discussion, dude. So hold on to that because I'll have you on that panel, Sci-Fi, for sure. Wow. Welcome, Captain Robert April as well. Steph brought her hubby into the chat, so good to see him.
Oh, that's great. Welcome.
Thank you guys for being here. Much appreciated.
And hey, Keck 44, I seen you sneak in.
Keck 44 is awesome. I shared this. Shared the link to the show out on my channel to my subscribers. Because there's probably a lot more Battlestar Galactica fans out there than we realize, and I just want to get people coming over here and having fun with us, talking about this wonderful show, this program that to me is a pillar in all of science fiction, something that shows us, that reminds us what sci-fi can be.
So say we all.
So say we all.
A tumescent pillar.
A tumescent, yes, it's very engorged culture. Thank you for using that word. Remind me of it.
I'm gonna have to share it around with you guys, but I got a nice resource. I'll have to like email it off to you guys at some point. Because I do have the BSG show Bible. So
yeah, I have a copy of it as well.
So yeah, we'll have
Awesome.
to actually discuss that as well.
Can you Drew? Can you bring up Sci-Fi Nation real quick?
Culture.
Culture. I'm
yeah.
acting like you. Yeah, that is an awesome avatar. Sci-Fi. I love that, dude. I love it. I love the whole background, everything you've got going on there. Is that Twiggy?
Yeah,
is Twiggy in there? That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, you can watch stuff. You can watch it. All you have to do is make a free account on there, and I mean it has the ads, the commercials in it, but it's no big deal. I mean, good God, you get up and get a copy of the commercials. Or it's no big deal.
Is it on Tubi? I know it's on Amazon Prime. That's how I currently watch it. But I think it's also on Tubi. And I don't know if you have Tubi in the United States, but I will tell you this. Tubi is really great because it gives you an ad before and then an ad after. So it's a lot like Amazon Prime, only Tubi is completely free.
Really? So it doesn't break up in the middle of the episode?
No.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind using Peacock. It gives you commercial breaks, but they're nowhere near as long as you would get on TV. It's like a minute. I don't mind it all that much.
They're about a minute and a half. They're not bad, but still, I like the way Raquel's describing it. It would be nice if they broke it up that way, but they do it the way they do. But yeah, for us here in the States, pretty much, I think it's just Peacock mainly, and then for those of you in Canada, you got Amazon Prime. Still has access to it.
I have to ask you something, Drew. Is your tablet, where is it resting at this moment? Because we know it overheats.
Yeah.
We were having a problem with that last week.
Yeah, it's not on my lap.
It's okay. All right.
Parrot Head will be relieved.
Yeah.
And not in that way relieved. I didn't mean in that way relieved. I'm so sorry, Parrot Head.
Not those two medicines.
I didn't mean that kind of relieved.
All right. Let's get into our episode.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
All right. Season 3, episode 11 or 12, depending upon what streaming service you use. Please look for the title Rapture. We open on a tense scene in the CIC. It's Adama ordering Gaeta to disengage the safeties on the nuclear warheads, standing at attention in their launch tubes on Galactica. In compliance with orders and procedures, Gaeta calls out that the nuke safeties are off and armed. Adama asks the colonel to input his firing code. Ty enters his code. We cut to the base ship. The Skin Job Council is unanimous. Adama isn't bluffing, but Beers is stone-faced and silent. We cut to the fetid algae planet base camp. A collection of Quonsets in a valley next to a large body of water. Inside the command Quonset, we rejoin the standoff between Lee and Sam from the last episode. They're holding Anders at gunpoint so he won't go off and rescue his wife. Lee orders Sykes to call Duwala on the horn. We join Duwala with a mobile phone unit pinned down with a group in the hillside. Lee asks her if she can see Starbucks crash site and if she can get to it. But it's a few kilometers away, a gray plume billowing in the distance. We cut back to the CIC. Launch keys are inserted into the command panel. They're on standby. Then we cut back to the Skin Job Council. Beers breaks with the consensus. The council insists. Then we cut back to Galactica, where Adama says, "Fire on my mark." Ty spies with his little eye everything in the room. His good eye dances around the room like a punk in a mosh pit. Rosalind also looks terrified. The camera chooses faces until we fall on the Dratus panel. Gaeta announces the Cylon Raiders are turning back. Not all of them, the old man corrects. One is still en route. Back with the Skin Jobs, Beers announces that Adama won't launch the nukes if it's a solitary craft. A greater issue is emerging, however. Beers will not comply with democracy. She will not respect the council's vote or decisions. Caprica scolds Beers with gritted teeth, continuing to call Adama's bluff. Then we cut to Dwala and then Lee. Lee orders Dwala and her team out of the foxhole to rescue Starbuck. Dwala is disgusted. We cut back to the CIC. Ty reminds everyone the nukes are hot and ready. Adama orders the nukes safe and the doors closed. We cut back to the skin jobs. Beers is smug with "I told you so's." As she saunters off, all huffy and puffy and proud of herself, the council discusses Beers' defiance and an ominous-sounding remedy for the Beers models. Back on Galactica, Hilo is wearing out the floor decking while he and Sharon discuss rescuing their toaster tot. They are exhausted and out of options, so after a loving exchange, Hilo shoots her. Sharon's Cylon blood splatters the walls of their quarters, and Hilo clings to her lifeless machine. The viewer knows the plan. Sharon will go join her baby through Cylon resurrection, consciousness uploaded and downloaded endlessly into their cyborg units. We cut to the credits.
Oh, Lord, that's a lot of stuff. So first off, Lee pisses me off so much. Let this man go save his wife. And why are you going to send your wife to go after your lover that you're cheating on your wife with behind your back? Like, my heroes in these episodes were truly tested, like my love for my heroes in this episode. Because, Starbuck has been, I don't like the way that they've been treating their respective others. Look, I'm sorry. I understood wanting to go save my wife. I'm sorry. I identify with you. You ain't stopping me. You're gonna have to shoot me. You're gonna put that gun to my head, and you're gonna have to shoot me to stop me from saving a person that I love. Also, do you want to stop there and go over the rest, or can I just keep going?
Well, it's just that opening scene. So I just wanted to bring the chat up to speed and do that opening credit opening credits to show what's happening in the episode. But you can go ahead and riff on anything up to the credits. Okay, there's lots to discuss.
Oh, I know there is. There absolutely is. Okay, so I'll just do two more. Also, the bet that Beers was making that Adama would not fire. That was a risky bet. I don't care. Adama, he's not the kind to back down. He's not the sort to back down. He did make that calculated risk and say, and he's an instinctual leader. I believe that he must have felt that there was some kind of disarray happening, given the information that he had, or maybe just pure instinct, as far as just that one raider not turning back. Whatever the reason was, it was the right choice. And also, the relationship that Athena has with her husband. Those two, that's a beautiful, they love each other, they trust each other, and occasionally he can kill her and it's all good. She comes back.
What a thing to say. What a thing.
You know what I mean? Right. That's and I have to commend her restraint because she can't do the same. So, if they're ever in an argument, situation where he can just shoot a bitch, but she can't do the same.
Well, he seems to be very submissive in this relationship.
Oh, absolutely.
So I doubt he would ever feel that way.
He's the bottom. He's the bottom, Raquel.
Yeah, he's the bottom cookie on the Oreo. And and that's what's happening there. Poor Hilo.
Poor Hilo. But I understand. Like, those guys have been through so much, and again, you have a situation where there are people here that they're going to go get their kid. This mom is going to go get her kid. There's like the complete opposites in love, in as far as what we see in that scene and what we see on the planet, where you have this just kerfuffle of nonsense being led by Lee. I understand strategically what he did was the right thing strategically, but on a human level, it was not. Absolutely not. And the difference between the sacrifice that was being made there why can't I think of my future ex-wife's name? Oh my God, I should not have had that bowl. Dwala, thank you. My God, what the hell is wrong with me? I love her.
Extreme brain. It's okay.
I do. No, the difference between D rushing out, being ordered to do that, and then, a mother going after their kid. I like the references, the different aspects of the human heart and emotion that are shown to you, like even within just this opening. Yeah, that's it. Okay, I'm done. We need to keep going.
Well, no, I don't think you should be done, because I think you point out something quite salient, and that is the fact that it's sort of dehumanizing for Duwala to be relegated to the duty of saving this woman who, is clearly having an affair with her husband, whereas we see this honor and very humane and kind exemplification in this cyborg who is going to get her child. So those things butted up against one another are intriguing, Stephen, and you are right to point that out.
Well, thank you so much for saying that much better than I did. And hail every person that left while I was doing that ramble. Appreciate you.
No one would leave because of that. I love you. Casino, Culture Casino. Cece,
Yes,
what did you think of this whole opening sequence?
I really, this is one of those table setters that you need to like reset the previous episode. And they did a very good job of it. Of course, nothing's more, hectic than, the threat of like nuclear detonations on your own, people. But, that was really cool. And then, of course, the very thing that, Steven said about the weird interpersonal relationships, and yet the call to duty that's still, acknowledged in the situation or the circumstance. So I have to say that things are not looking good all the way around in this episode, for lack of a better way of putting it. But hey, we're just at the beginning, so let's move on.
Yeah, I was struck by just how short it was and how much it got completed in that time. Usually with Battlestar Galactica, when we're looking at these opening scenes, sometimes they last up to 20 minutes. You can be sitting around and the credits are still rolling and it's 17, 18, 19 minutes in. And so I was struck by the fact that I think this one is only around 9 minutes, and we got so much done. We created a lot of tension, and we reset everyone so they're ready for this next roller coaster ride. So, great job. Especially for season 3, which I don't find particularly well executed, certainly not in comparison to season 1 and season 2. So great comment, Cece.
Well, it was clunky. I'd say season 3 is a little clunky, but
it is.
I'm no less interested in, like, I like the episodes that are unfolding as I'm rewatching them now, which is a couple past this.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, it's true. And, every time you watch something, you're a different person. You're a different age. You're at a different time in your life. Society is different. The headlines are different. So as you're watching it, you're a different person. And therefore you get a different, you might get something different out of it on a rewatch, and certainly out of multiple rewatches.
Absolutely.
So for me on this time around, I don't know. I'm so in love with season 1 and season 2. I'm just so passionate about the quality of writing in those first 2 seasons that this time around, just season 3 doesn't stand out for me. Although I must say this, it is still far and away something that I would watch over and over and over again. And the filth that is on TV today isn't qualified to lick its stinky feet, season 3. So, this is still far and away an outstanding IP with just some great writing, and it never gets old.
I'd also like to mention real quick that when Script Doctor comes back, we have to give him crap because they just invent new ways to torture Gaius throughout this whole season. And I'm enjoying every one as much as I did the first time. And he's missing it.
Yeah, he is. Where is that guy anyway? I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Script is awesome. He's killing it. See, this is what happened for the last year and a half, Raquel. We've all been saying, Hollywood, hire Script Doctor. Please hire Script Doctor. And they listened. And so now he's working on shows.
This
is
terrific.
good.
This
Absolutely.
is terrific.
I would rather have Script Doctor in a dark corner with nothing but a lamp and a pen and paper, writing us good stuff for television and movies than being here. So you keep working, boy. We love you. Yay, Canada.
Sure. Yeah. Canada? Did you say Canadian instead of Canada? CC.
Yeah, that's Canada, Stephen.
I'm just messing with script if he listens.
Oh. Okay, so we rejoined Hilo. As we rejoined Hilo as personal body bag, the cyborg. As personnel. Sorry, we rejoined Hilo as personnel bag the cyborg body. Wow, why did I write that? And haul it off. The MPs are ordered outside as the camera now reveals that Adama and Rosalind are present and overseeing. Adama tells him that the Cylons now have access to everything. Sharon knows, including all of the current tactical info on the planet. Hilo insists she won't betray them, but we know this process is much like Odo and the Great Link, so the conversation is a little dumb and kind of annoying. Hilo insists Sharon can resist, and Rosalind tears a strip off of him. Hilo rises from his chair with a clenched jaw to confront Rosalind on lying about and abducting their toaster tot. Adama reaches out to hold Hilo back. Hilo blames Rosalind for the whole thing. Rosalind concedes her deception, but is unapologetic. She openly chastises both Adama and Hilo for their bewildering trust in the machines. And I'm going to stop there because that was pretty intense. That was a pretty intense scene. And yeah, I thought it was weird that nobody considered the fact that if she went through the resurrection process, that everything that she knew would be shared. So I was a little bit annoyed. What are your guys' thoughts on this?
My thought is that I went to go to my email to go email culture something, and just in case I check my junk email, and for some reason I have African elongation ritual in my junk email. I don't know where this came from. I never signed up for this.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's called being extra tumescent.
Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry. I was just amazed by that.
Sci-Fi Nation, toaster tot is one of my sayings, and it's because I sometimes we talk about social science around here. So I'm a communications and technology scholar. And so social science is my business. So Stephen and I regularly talk about the implications of what's coming in our future as far as what is considered a robot and what their rights are. So for me, I nicknamed the cyborg baby Toaster Tot because I thought it appropriate to continually remind anyone who watches this channel and this review that there are some weighty implications that are not science fiction; they're science future. Right. So that's why I use that diction. So Toaster Tot is from me, and I apologize for it. But I just think that it's a kind of a smart assery kind of way to make my point without preaching at people.
It's Raquel being spicy.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, and that's when she's not wearing liquid latex.
No.
Yeah. So, Cece, what did you think of this? I mean, I think it's pretty scary that Hilo just didn't consider the fact that when she went to the resurrection ship, that all of the information would go into the Great Link, for lack of a better term for it.
I would say that, that was just one of many oversights of that decision between those two, which are driven purely by emotion, which also blows my mind because, Sharon's a Cylon and a Brasheen. I mean, she should have been able to turn off the emotional aspect and say, oh, shit, that would be a bad plan because everybody know every fucking thing. So it's just, wow, I'm cursing a lot. No, but it's just, I don't normally do that. But it's just, it's one of those points in the show where, it's like I can't believe number one, you didn't consider that,
right?
But that's just one of many of those things. I mean, they didn't consider that. They didn't consider that it would then compromise that the relationship between the two of them. It made an assumption that she would be able to resurrect, not knowing for certain based on what the resurrection ship that they've destroyed is gone. I mean, there's a lot of implications here.
Yes, for sure.
And so they made an assumption that not only would she be able to resurrect, but there'd be a body model on the ship that would be closest to them. I mean, there's and I know they hadn't yet divided into ships based on models at this point, but it's just there's a lot of assumptions made in that action.
Yes.
And
very dangerous with all that tactical information. They could have just gone in and killed everyone on planet Slimer there, and and she would have been to blame. It's just Hilo continually has the worst timing, doesn't he, CC?
I think that's an epic understatement.
Yeah.
I mean, for whatever reason, it's just one of those weird things. I mean, again, he does badly, and so does Anders, consistently.
Yeah, I like Anders.
But those dudes win the bad timing awards, man. I mean,
absolutely.
Which is the only award show anybody would possibly pay attention to now, because nobody's going to watch the Oscars this weekend. So it's just
Tehillim 29 turns around and he says to me, "It is what they seek to be, a science future." And then, very wonderfully, Sci-Fi Nation goes ahead and gives the pretty much the same answer I would give. I've actually written a short story about this from a social scientist's point of view, and that Sci-Fi Nation is correct. There is much chatter about what is going to be happening with these robots that will be used for intercourse, either their parts or their bodies proper. And so there are some ideas swirling about, is it ethical? And there are some people that are saying that it will prevent sexual assaults and that it has all of these sort of protective qualities if we just allow people to have these sex robots.
Live out those fantasies. Could you imagine that, Raquel? I mean, that's a nightmare. If you've got somebody just doing it over and over again to a robot, you're dehumanizing.
It is, and one could say that it might even be practiced. So Tehillim 29, it isn't science future. It's science present. And Sci-Fi Nation, thank you for answering that for me. If you would like to read my short story on that, you can find it on your Kindle device. You can also download it to any Android device from Amazon, and it's only 73 cents, I think, for Americans. So.
Wow.
If you're interested in learning about that and would like to, hear a story about it, please go and read that story and tell me what you think.
Do it. And when you do it, it will make you wait to Messin. Right?
It's called Lila. If you'd like to read it, please go ahead and download it.
That's really nice. You put it out there at 74 cents. You were making no profit whatsoever on that.
I don't want profit. I
for
just
the
want
love of story.
That is right. For
Beautiful.
the love of story. So I hope everybody enjoys that. If you would like to read that, it's out there, and it might shock you, but and you may scratch around the outer edges of what Stephen and I regularly discuss when we discuss BSG and the implications in real life on a go-forward basis.
Beautiful. That's awesome, Raquel. Please check out her wonderful works.
Love you, love you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, cool. I'll pay a loony for that, even though I live in Central Michigan. Oh wait, basically Canadian. Canadian
again. Canadian.
Thank you, bro.
Love you, Paradise.
Thank you, bro. And I read it.
Yeah. There are already people that shag dolls. Yes, exactly. Parrot head and
yeah, that's a thing. I mean, it's just it's just masturbation, right? I mean, but at what point does that, when you're dealing with an entity that can make choices for self? Yeah.
And
at what point?
There have been stories about this along those lines for decades and decades and decades, including some Asimov stuff. But of recent, there was a show on television that essentially allowed you to surrender yourself. I think the show was called Dollhouse. And then they made a film with the same concept called Gamer.
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
Yes, they did.
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, Gamer was different. Gamer allowed you to take over like somebody in real time. So they had prisoners that would go into these death matches. and they would be controlled by someone else who was essentially playing them like a video game. And then, if you've heard of the game The Sims, they had a regular, safer domestic version of that, where somebody could rent you to control you in this this virtual but real world, and kind of live out their fantasies through these people that were essentially just controlled by another human. Yeah. And so it was a freaky thing. Had several actors and actresses in it that I thought were stellar at the time and still are. Gerard Butler is actually the main protagonist.
Yeah, I like him.
And but I mean, there have been many different ways to go about that. So it's very interesting. So
yeah. Anyway, I hope we answered your question in the chat. Yes, it was sometimes on this show. This show actually used to be just fully a writer's room. So all we would do is discuss craft. So that is why we get into some of these weightier topics, and we get into the philosophical and societal implications of what's being written on this show and what's being displayed in the celluloid and its viability going forward. And its humanity, its humaneness.
Absolutely, conversations you would expect from people who love classic geek and nerd culture. And speaking of nerds, hey, hail CGH, thank you for being here. Macney90, hail to you. And Nerd Cookies, hey, what's up, sweetie?
Oh, Elaine's here. Yeah. Hello, beautiful.
Elaine, you want to come on? You watch Battlestar? Let us know, because we're talking about Battlestar Galactica.
Elaine, if you're unfamiliar with Nerd Cookies, Elaine is a more cerebral version of a podcaster. She does a tremendous amount of research. She doesn't just like geek stuff, so the film stuff and all that kind of stuff. She also really likes a lot of nerd culture. So please sub her channel. You will not regret it. She does comprehensive coverage of her issues and does a great deal of research and provides it in a very organized, rhetorical way, which is so enjoyable. She's marvelous. So please follow Nerd Cookies.
Absolutely.
Which one are we talking about? We're on Rapture.
That's season 3. What is it? Episode 6 in the US, I think.
It is season 3, episode 11 or 12.
11. God, look at me. God, I'm so far behind.
No, it's okay. It's because you watched ahead. Once you watch ahead,
I watched way ahead, guys. I am so far ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can't stop watching the show. It's just a wonderful show. With some of the missteps, with some of the missteps forgiven, like Culture was saying earlier about the download situation. Sorry, buddy. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that this show is something I believe I could probably do without ever watching it again, because I've seen it so many times. I've watched I watch Battlestar once or usually twice per year minimum.
Damn right.
So it's one of those things. I go back and I go, okay, I'm going to lose a week of time and I'm going to watch this show.
CC, would you please give Sci-Fi Nation the URL to my author's page on Amazon? I think. Do you have it here? You can also just search me on Google, RM Briggs. Usually my name shows up on this stream. But if you're wondering what my name is, it's RM Briggs, BRIGGS. I'm also on Goodreads, so you can find me there as well.
Briggs sounds like a name that would expect a masculine man. I'm just saying, it's like you're looking for the Rock.
It's got to be combustion powered at that point. That's kind of what I think.
All right. Well, I guess is there anything else you wanted to say about this scene in particular? Culture?
No, I'm good.
Okay, I'm good too.
Okay, so we cut to the resurrection ship. It's Caprica standing over a Cylon birthing tub. They have a conversation about what happened, what prompted her death. Sharon tells the truth and says that she no longer trusts humans and wants to stay with her toaster tot, where they are safe with the Cylons. Then we cut back to Lee in the Quonset. Anders appears to be satisfied and more cooperative as Lee lays out a plan to lure the Chrome Jobs into a trap. We cut to Duwala's team closing in on Starbuck's crash site. They come under sniper fire. Sergeant Fisher is killed, leaving Duwala solo in her advanced position.
Oh, can I pause real quick and say that was pretty brutal? By the way, the wound, that the sniper wound.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good for TV. I mean,
yeah, that was pretty high in gore, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I don't mind. I don't mind at all. I teach rhetoric, so if
that's right. I keep forgetting.
I don't mind at all. I don't take it personal. I'm not frail like other people are. I just, if you need to interject and it's something important, by all means, sir. So Duwala retreats, running down the hill. So she's so freaked out that she runs openly down the hill. So your heart's in your throat at this point because she's openly running, like she's running out in the open, and you're terrified she's going to get gunned down. So we then join Callie and Galen at the obelisk in the temple. Lee rings them, and the Chief and Apollo discuss whether Chief has discovered the Eye of Jupiter. Chief says no. Apollo says hurry. Chief orders his team to pack up and be ready to move. Then we join Beers and Baltar on a cliff overlooking the site. They have a heart-to-heart about God, destiny, and going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs like the hybrid seer. Apparition 6 joins the emotional Fluff and Pet to let Gaius know that he and Beers will part ways. She tells Gaius that he is the chosen one, not Beers. He answers that he already knows. So what do you think of this?
Megalomania.
Yes, right? Yes, Sci-Fi Nation, that is the name of it. Lila, Vincent's Libertine Gallery. And you can get it on...
I've been trying to link it forever. I can't get it done.
That's okay. Thank you so much, Sci-Fi Nation. I hope you enjoy it. If you do enjoy it, please leave a comment for me. I would really appreciate it.
Baltar never ceases to astound me.
Yeah, right?
He is so desperate to be vindicated of his guilt that he's been hiding since 33. It's never going to happen, you know. It's not going to happen. He has to accept what he did and accept what happened. Accept he was basically the instrument of the fall of humanity, at least for Caprica. And so he just does this dance where he's like, you know, really wishing that he's a Cylon. I mean, okay. Also, the hallucinations, you know, Angel 6, that would make somebody a little crazy. Like, I get that, you know, him being an atheist and then being thrust into this really religious mindset. Yeah. But you know, it's just he is a person who avoids all responsibility for his own actions, and it sickens me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he's irredeemable.
To any extent, he's irredeemable to any extent. He's like, I'm a Cylon. I'm the chosen one of God. I'm this and that. Like, Mom, look, dude, like, you're a villain. You're a villain. Yeah. And that's just what it is. Accept that you're a villain, and if you feel bad about that, take the steps to redeem yourself. But instead, he's placed in these situations where he's just playing the game, willingly playing the game as a villain.
Yeah,
you know, and it's sickening. Where's Script Doctor? This is his favorite character.
Yeah, he's completely despicable because he turns this whole thing about the survival of the last remnant of humanity. He makes it about himself. He finds
of course he does.
Make it about himself.
Of course he does. He is world-renowned narcissist. Holy cow.
Right.
Yeah, the guy has raging NPD.
We need that clip where Starbuck just gets up and says, "Make me a sandwich." Like, we need that clip to remind us.
Speaking of making me a sandwich, Stephen, how's that going?
Sandwiches have been getting made for me. Actually, I met someone who's a really nice person, a friend of mine for 13 years.
And they make sandwiches?
No, she's made me breakfast in bed and like really sweet stuff that I never expect. And dinner, and brings it to me. Like, I'm not demanding this. I'm not a patriarch like that. but she's doing these very nice things for me. And
Is mutual kindness patriarchy?
I am I am tumescent as much as I can be.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, you are getting older, so that is kind of a challenge at your age, there, Steven.
Oh my! Are we going to talk about that? You dick!
Hey, dude, you're the one that went
I
out
know,
swinging the other day.
I know. I come at your prostate all the time.
I know.
Oh no!
Nobody really.
Yeah, dude, you're all about dipping the finger. That's all I have to say about that.
No, yeah. So
I don't know what that means, but I don't want to ask.
It must be an American thing.
Yeah. Yes.
It's only a knuckle. It's only knuckle deep. All right.
Oh boy. Okay. So back in this stinky hillside, Andrus and Apollo set their trap.
Stinky hillside. Oh, sorry.
Yes. Three chrome toasters arrive. A detonation fails to fell them, and a firefight ensues. One chrome job is buried up to its waist in the collapse of the hillside caused by the failed blast. It's left gunning away as the other two retreat. They polish off the buried toaster. Everyone retreats to regroup. The humans have lost a man. We finally join Starbuck in her downed Rapture. She appears largely unharmed, although her gloves are melted into her hands. She opens a small first aid kit and drops it when she hears a noise outside the Rapture. She draws her gun on the door, but it's just Dee. Starbuck is totally thankless. So instead of like, oh, it's you, she's annoyed. And Dwala jabs Starbuck immediately with the painkillers that Starbuck was reaching for. They talk about how awkward this whole thing is. Dwala says her orders are to bring Starbuck back to Apollo. Starbuck rolls her eyes. She's a real piece of work. Yeah. And
it was his Starbuck or something. Yeah. How did she phrase that? Like she was saucy.
Yeah, and it's just terrible what transpires between these two women.
For good reason, though. I mean,
are you familiar with the acronym "See You Next Tuesday"?
Yes.
Yeah.
Starbuck is a "See You Next Tuesday."
No doubt.
Yeah, just like Amber Heard, absolutely.
Yeah,
like I didn't know that Starbuck pooed on someone's bed.
She definitely marked her territory. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. Right. I mean that's a thing. I mean, maybe that's what Boxy does. Boxy cleans up after Starbuck. Maybe that's his job. And that's why we haven't seen him. I don't know. Oh my God, that's gross. But like that's what I said, Raquel. Like the heroes that I have loved up until this season, like my loyalty to them is being tested.
Yeah.
Just with some of them. And Starbucks won, Lee's won. It's heartbreaking. But what do you do? I don't know. I feel bad for D. D's a soldier. That is wifey material, y'all. That is wifey material right there. And you're gonna disrespect her. Like, how many times does this woman have to prove?
I feel bad for the D too.
Feel bad for the D.
Could we please marquee 32 minutes past the hour, Mark D with a C? Could we please marquee that? Mm-hmm. It's 32 minutes. Yes, that's it. Thank you so much. We could just leave that up for a little while.
Okay, you got it. I'm being
something that rhymes with Heard.
Happy birthday. See you next Tuesday. Happy birthday. See you next Tuesday.
Is it a turd day today? Is it the turd birthday?
I don't know, but
this is her birthday weekend. You should see if you look up the hashtag Happy Birthday Amber Heard. Yeah. It is venomous.
Oh, goody. I'm going there right now. Thank you.
So funny. Bear, I spent a loony on you, Raquel. Well, thank you. I hope you enjoy it. It's really not about the money. Did you know that that I tried to lower it, and because it's under 99 cents because it's in Canadian money, they won't let me go any lower. So I actually tried to make all my stories a quarter because I wanted everyone to read them. But yeah, apparently you're not allowed to go any lower than 99 cents Canadian. So yeah, thanks for buying it. You're awesome. Please leave a comment if you like it and some stars if you like it.
please do, guys, because that really does. That means a lot. It lets other people know that you enjoyed the material, and be honest always. Whenever you're reviewing our stuff, we really appreciate you. But it helps. It helps to let people know, and we appreciate the interaction. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Sci-Fi Nation. And Roof Korean. Yes, that's exactly what I was getting at, sir. Thank you. Imagine having that for a girlfriend who or a wife who would think that would be a joke.
You know, interestingly enough, I mean, there was a police incident that involved Miss Turd and her previous.
Did it have to do with fecalphilia?
No, it had to do with her previous female partner, and they also had quite a few tussles. One of which was also responded to with police presence. So,
I heard that she assaulted her in an airport.
That was one of more than that was the most that's the one that made the news. Let's just put it in those terms. So there you
go. That's really unfortunate, but it's by virtue of the fact that elimination and defecation is somehow humorous to her when it involves one's bedchamber. I cannot even speak her name.
Like poop just even isn't really funny. Like, I mean, do angry lesbians hit each other with dildos? You know, like that would be funny if she had like hit Johnny with a dildo. I mean, it would be funny that he got hit, but it'd be a lot more funny than a turd. I'm sorry. Did I go too far there? I'm sorry. Yeah, let's get back to the show.
Back to the show. So back on the base ship, Sharon is reunited with her toaster tot. Something divine or otherworldly is implied as the cyborg baby recognizes its mother, despite, as Six points out, biologically identical units failing to comfort the wee toaster. It finally stops crying. The two Sharon units back and forth until it is established that the Six must assist in getting Hera to coddle on Galactica. Six refuses, and the Sharons argue over whether or not it's a ruse. But the cyborg baby is genuinely ill and may die. A cyborg they consider their human cyborg messiah. The evil unit threatens to snap the toaster tot's neck, and she agrees with Cavill. The whole thing was never meant to be. Horrified viewers see the Sharon unit clutch the cyborg baby by the throat, and of course, it's a real baby. So, I always hate that scene. Excuse me. Mama Sharon is petrified and begs her not to kill her toaster tot. Six has seen enough and plants a massive knockdown punch on evil Sharon and then snaps her neck like a twig. Six has saved the day. They make their way to a Rapture to get Mama Sharon and baby cyborg back to Galactica. Any thoughts here, guys?
I think that Sharon did what she had to do to protect her kid, of course. She's been doing that the entire time. And Six is in a place right now where she's really questioning what's going on. Like, we know, have we seen Angel Gaius? We've seen him once, right? Already.
Mm-hmm.
We've already seen him once, right? So yeah, I do believe we have seen him once. So we know that she is under, we don't see that storyline unfold, but we understand that Caprica 6 is also under some kind of angelic influence. Or, you know, so we see her making a lot of different decisions that sometimes may not be, I don't know, something that I wouldn't see her committing to that action. Protecting the child, yes, but not the following actions. I just don't see that in that character, that level of rebellion against her kind, although I do believe she questions what's going on with the council.
Yeah. And I think that that it's done on purpose. It's such a violent departure, and I think to affect this idea that there are clearly the more these skin jobs hang around humans, the more they begin to take on these human-like traits. And to cite this, I cite Six, but I also cite the idea that I must admit that I felt worried that when they killed that particular, when Hilo shot that particular boomer unit, that she would not resurrect as kind and as humane, or that her algorithm wouldn't present as humane as the previous unit. And so I think that it is, to a certain extent, very effective writing, because there seems to be these units that emerge to be far more human or human behaving than the rest. And also we see that now they can turn quite evil, even if they've shared the consciousness of a download, which is intriguing because it's showing that there is some type of uniqueness to each unit, although there ought not to be. And then we see this reinforced when the toaster tot can recognize the belly from whence it came, when meanwhile they're all biologically identical. So
those are beautiful insights. Thank you.
I think it's quite keen writing.
Okay.
What do you think, Cece?
Well, I think the writing is spectacular, and of course, a child is going to imprint on their biological mother. It doesn't. I mean, there are twins that the kids can tell the difference between. So it's just identical twins, and the kids are like, no, I know who my mom is. So
yeah.
To me, that's not surprising. I mean, you imprint on a particular human being, and you can identify them by more than just their, obvious immutables. So it's just, again, I mean, there's another, battle damage for immutables when you're trying to use them as a source of measurement. But beyond that, it's just not surprising. And they don't know how to hold her. They don't know how mom hold her. They don't know any of that. Because even amongst every model, there still have a level of uniqueness that they can identify the uniqueness of each other. Therefore, why would it be baffling that the child can identify?
Right.
Yeah.
But what's the level of jealousy? Well, I mean, it's definitely a jealousy. I mean, because they're being told that they are the same, that they are uniform, and the truth is that they are not, as they evolve further in their personalities, and most especially with a child, something that they didn't believe that they could do. So well said, Cece.
Yeah.
This is a good question, Ruth Korean, and that's probably true. Because she affects the stream. Again, we're using their terminology. She affects the stream each and every time she reboots. And so they're seeing insight into what she experiences.
Now, is that throughout the entire collective, or is that, I thought that was just the model?
Because anytime
it's not just the model.
Well, anytime they engage with the stream, when they put their hand in the pool of water.
Right.
So that's an interesting concept. I think you're on the right track there, Ruth Korean. I really do. I think that could have been the impetus for the changes, although we didn't see it reflected in the writing, in the story. Maybe that's a decent takeaway. Maybe that was an element that we didn't get introduced to that was actually in someone's mind.
I would tend to agree. Because the skin jobs are not experiencing the same amount of horror that Scar did, and so when we see these resurrections, we saw the hardening of Scar, and Scar became bloody and ruthless and psychotic. But with the skin jobs they're not suffering from that same level of PTSD and violence. Rather, they're being their algorithms are being exposed over and over and over again to humanity and humaneness and learning how to mimic human beings. So yeah, I think so, Ruth Korean.
Well said. Hail the chat. Thank you guys so much for being here. Please share the link out and smash the like button. This show wouldn't be anything without you. We'd just be here talking to each other about one of the best shows. And we'd still be doing it, to be honest with you. There was like 2 people in the chat.
We totally would.
This show. I love this show. I love the wonderful insights. Raquel, thank you so much for you put me in another state of thinking, and as far as the writing went, thank you so much. And this is why I love speaking with people who have different perspectives and see this show from different vantage points. I appreciate you so much.
Oh, I love you. I feel the exact same way about you. You guys, did you just see who just walked through the door and slammed it behind him?
Who?
TMF!
Oh, snap. Look good. We've been missing. DJ ain't here either. We ain't had one boxy theory tonight. Although we did kind of insinuate that Starbucks shits on it, and then he cleans it up, like shits on people's beds. But I don't think that was an Amber Heard thing. It kind of went too far. Raquel totally dodged it for us. It was great, but I brought it back up. Shit.
Yeah, and Sci-Fi Nation says the skin jobs are also coming to hate dying because they are resurrecting all the time. It does cause some form of PTSD according to dialogue. Yes, but Sci-Fi Nation, what we're talking about is adapting the programming and their algorithms towards humanity instead of battle. So with Scar, we saw him become a deranged lunatic because he just kept on getting sent back into war. So every single time he died and he was resurrected, he came back more and more psychotic. Whereas as the skin jobs spend more and more time with human beings, as they resurrect, they become more human.
Oh. Nice. Parrothead says DJ is streaming with his pre-birthday stream. I guess it's DJ's birthday tonight, so I'm going to stop by there after the show.
Birthday.
Yeah, and saying happy birthday to him. I'm going to be doing DJ and I are going to be, when I can nail down a time, it's a very hectic period right now, we're going to be doing a retro review of Deep Space Nine. Thinking about doing it Monday nights, not sure yet. I'm looking forward to that. Yep, looking forward to that. You've got one other person on the panel, and I want to keep the panel small. But I'd like to just have as many Trek nerds, like hardcore Trek nerds there that I can. And Raquel's so busy, I didn't want to ask you because I know you do one on Saturday night. You do a Trek show on Saturday night, which is really good.
I do a Saturday night Star Trek. We actually call it Clobbering Treks because it's on Clobbering Times.
Hail Clobbering Times. Great person in the community.
I love that man. He's still a comic book store, and he is he's a curator. He's a librarian. He's an encyclopedia, and he's just wonderful to be around. So yeah,
beautiful.
Okay, so back on the Algae planet with Lee and Anders, the Chrome Jobs attack, running out in the open down the hillside. Then we cut to Cal and Galen. Apollo's on the horn again. We go back and forth between Lee and Galen to establish that Galen has not uncovered the Eye of Jupiter.
Oh, snap, sorry.
Anders and Apollo take heavy fire. Apollo orders the chief to blow up the temple. The chief and Callie get that underway, and we rejoin Starbuck and Duella. Starbuck, who is in a tremendous amount of pain from her burns, gets another shot of morphine. The viewer learns the Rapture isn't damaged and just needs a wire repaired. And that's saying something because it was quite a fire now, wasn't it, folks? Starbuck can't fly high, obviously. She has lots of morphine in her. And her hands are useless because, of course, her gloves are melted into her skin. As Starbuck begins to pass out, she spills her guts and gets a wake-up call, a feel-good smack right on the face from Duella. I love that Duella does that. Back with Lee and Sam for mere seconds to announce the Cylons are in the temple. We cut to inside the temple with Beers and Baltar. They stroll in with atheist Cavil. He notices the obelisk is wired for boom and urges Beers to disconnect the detonation devices. While Cavil and Beers unplug everything, we cut to Apollo and the chief. Chief won't blow the temple. Apollo has a conniption fit. Red clouds roll in overhead. Inside, the temple apparition, a 6 appears. She points Gaius to the symbol illuminated on the floor and identifies it as the Eye of Jupiter. He's gobsmacked and speaks aloud, drawing the attention of Cavil and Beers. Gaius tries to say that he recalls the hybrid seer Babel. It's a cover-up. Beers begins to move toward the symbol, and Cavil stops her, saying that Beers was never looking for Earth, but something else. Mm-hmm. And I'll stop there. What do you guys think of these scenes?
I think Fat Lee Adama has changed ever since he got fat. Now I'm not liking his. I don't like his character arc in this season. And I think that Cavil's absolutely right. Like, she is on some kind of a holy quest. She is on a religious mission of experience and understanding. It has nothing to do with Earth at this point. And the question then becomes, was she actually an instrument of the deity, the divine, the God in this story, playing a part or playing a role? Did she have a greater destiny? I don't know. It's the question I posed to the panel.
Mm-hmm. I'm to tell you the truth, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know, because there's that whole paradox of, was she meant to have that information that she should not have been privy to?
Mm-hmm.
And so then what is your actual destiny? Is your destiny to uncover information that you should not be privy to and therein insert yourself into this divine intervention?
Right.
Or are you something divine? So to tell you the truth, Stephen, I don't know.
That's just a question that came into my mind with when you have the interference of Gaius, who's being led by a spiritual force. It was such a detestable creature. The devil in the machine. Just it makes me wonder if he was, for his own survival, misleading a character that could have gone in a direction differently than the one that she was led to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, there was a lot of menage a trois before they got there.
Look, I'm saying they were consenting robots. That's different. They were consenting,
and nobody pooped on the bed.
Nobody, not a one. What do you think, Culture?
Well, my thoughts are, we've talked a long time about this. Look, yes. I'm going to say it this way. I think she had a spiritual destiny, just like everybody did in the show, because we can't get away from what's stated throughout the entire program, which is this is all happened before,
and it will happen again.
Happen again. And so, that's fatalism in a way that I don't think a lot of people are prepared for it. And then, of course, the ultimate discussion at the end of the show, which I don't want to spoil, is whether or not that's always the case. And so I like you said, my takeaway has always been that everybody was just playing their part in the charade, in the dance, whatever you want to call it. Everybody is merely a puppet that's fulfilling their role, and it kind of looks that way. And then to
what end though, CC? Because at least when we see the wheel of samsara, and we see this resurrection in Hinduism, Buddhism, we see it in many religions. With you eventually reach Brahman. You eventually reach a point where you're allowed to go into the sea of energy, into the universe, and be at peace. And these people just seem to be caught in this vicious cycle of living it over and over and over again. So I think the idea is interesting.
Yeah, I just for me, and again, it's just. I just think that they did such a great job in the way that they put the show together. And you can, Ronald Moore would be the person to say thank you to, I guess, in this situation. I'm trying to figure out the right way to put it.
Come on, whip it out, man. Come on.
No,
beats are meth to messing.
Look, I understand they put so much religion into it. I think I'm trying to remember the way you described it, Raquel, whereas like everybody's bathing in the pool or whatever.
Yes, everybody in the pool. Yeah. It's an all-inclusive resort. Everyone in the pool. It's very hedonistic.
Coitus pool.
But at the same time, I mean, there are some very overriding tones when it comes to reincarnation that just kind of seem to override everything else. And I guess that's the direction I would come at it as, but I still see it. I don't know if anybody's going to be able to change their mind. I still see it as so fatalistic, in its presentation. I don't know another way to describe it. Okay. I'll think about it a little bit. We'll revisit it on another one, because guess what? This is the only time that we're running into these same kind of situations and circumstances. This thing continually reintroduces you to this same conflict,
right?
Yes.
The same type of conflict at least twice a season, if not more often than that.
Yeah.
So.
I beg your pardon. 1 second, please. Please excuse me. Sci-Fi Nation at 52 minutes past the hour. He says, love the conversation both in chat and from the panel. Gotta run. Take care, everyone. And thanks for the stream, Drew. Sci-Fi Nation, it was so nice to have you join us this evening. And I hope you'll join us again.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here, sir.
Yeah. And Yitzi Lemons is an excellent creator of channel art. So I have a piece from him as well. So very good.
Very cool.
Up to that, I guess we can move forward.
Okay, so we cut to a massive helium flash from the star about to go supernova. Then we cut to the CIC where they are discussing it. The entire planet Slimer, will be obliterated in about an hour. Back with Apollo, Anders, and Chief. The riddle is solved. The nova is the eye of Jupiter. Apollo announces the team can still blow the temple. We cut to Dwala and Starbuck. They have a wonky but successful takeoff. Starbuck assures D that they will only need to break orbit, and Galactica will then assist them. Then we cut to Cavil and Beers in the temple. Beers confesses her motive is to gaze upon the faces of the final five. Cavil tells her that can't be allowed to happen. Beers insists that it is, quote, her destiny. Cavil goes to shoot her, but he is shot in the back by Gaius, hiding behind a pillar. They proceed without speaking, and the obelisk comes to life, animated by movement and light from above. Beers enters the light-illuminated symbol on the floor. She enters a dreamscape. The final five are cloaked, concealed in white-out light. The final five murmur, and Beers appears perplexed. She approaches one of the five and asks for forgiveness. They touch hands, and Beers is knocked back with Gaius, appearing to have left the physical realm and has now returned. Gaius is filled with wonder and questions. Beer's Cylon eyes turn milky, and she begins to bleed from her nose. She collapses, and Gaius cushions her fall. Her dying words are that Gaius was right. He pitches a fit as he's still unable to ascertain if he's a Cylon. Beers gives up the ghost, and Gaius drops her to free up his arms so that he can fix his hair and plant himself in the center of the symbol while kicking Beers' dead body away and calling on God. As he begs for enlightenment, the chief draws a gun to Gaius' head and pistol whips him, knocking him out with one blow. So I'll stop there. What did you guys think of this scene?
This man is unsavable. He doesn't care. This person, he's been banging. Irredeemable. He's been banging her for weeks, betrayed Caprica 6 for her, and then she's lying, bleeding out of her head, and the only thing he could think of, not think about how I can help this person. You need to tell me what I need to know. I need me. That's awful. I love the way he described him standing up and kicking her body aside.
This is terrible. Have you ever read Dante's Inferno?
Long ago.
I would love it if you were to revisit the Bolgias in Dante's Inferno, because, that's Gaius. It's not enough that Gaius is in hell. He'll be slathered in feces and being stung by multiple horrible insects. He has a fetid soul. He's just absolute crap.
He is Amber Heard's perfect mate.
Whoa!
Let us ship Gaius and Heard. Can we do that?
Oh my. Cece, what did you think of this?
I thought it was typical Gaius. I'm sorry. He's so self-serving and duplicitous, and he redefines the bottom of the world consistently.
Well,
so good. I'm so glad I asked.
Yeah. Beyond that, I thought the scene was awesome, and I really did appreciate Chief taking the gun to him. I thought it was kind of concerning that again the final five are revealed, but not to the audience still. Yes. So but it is what it is.
And a shout out to Callis, to James Callis. for this performance. Like I've said before in the past, I love actors that can perform despicable roles. I love them more because they usually get hate. People usually get an impression from them when they play a role that is, that people despise. And I really enjoy that. So just want to give a shout out to him real quick. I absolutely can't stand your character. Thank you for acting it out so well.
Thank you for letting us hate your guts.
Yes, my man. What a sacrifice. All right. And then to step in this, like, I get the curiosity. I don't understand his dismissive attitude toward another person. Even if, he thought he was a Cylon. So, like, even if you're sitting there hoping that you're a Cylon, you just treated a Cylon like it was a piece of like it was nothing.
And
it was
a
trash.
Cylon you have been repeatedly
Banging.
making quote unquote love with in a menage a trois with Six, and and walking around naked, walking around in a hotel robe on a Cylon base ship like you're Hugh frickin' Hefner. Okay,
He's missing a cigar holder.
Right?
Yes. Crazy.
Big pimpin'.
Right? And he's just, she's dead, kicks her hand away.
We're shipping those two. We're shipping Gaius and Amber. That's happening.
Well, I'd like to ship them somewhere, maybe off the planet. Okay, so back in space, the Cylon ships jump away. Galactica launches a hurried rescue mission. Colonel Ty says it will be a photo finish, obviously implying it's going to be close. Back on the planet, it's complete chaos. The Nova is underway and the temple is crumbling. We don't see the rescue mission. Instead, we watch the Rapture return in the nick of time. Galactica jumps away with no time to spare. On the hangar deck, everyone disembarks. Gaius is pardon?
Oh, sorry, nothing. That was me. That was me.
Look at you, Roof Korean. Is that what you were reading? I'm sorry, Roof Korean 11. Yeah. Back end update by Google. A toxic man flu. Mama Susan is getting revenge for everyone trolling her reward. The beatings will continue until morale improves. Team YouTube. No doubt, sir. No doubt. Sorry, that's insane. That's nuts. In case anyone doesn't know, Susan gave herself an award for, what was it, diversity and inclusion, something like that, for YouTube. And people have been letting YouTube know, using the only voice that we have, because when you dam up a person's or a people's ability to express their opinion, that water will flow in whatever direction it can. So until they just upend and remove our ability to dislike videos and comment on them with a critique of the video itself or the subject matter, they're going to find ways to punish us. So congratulations, Susan. You gave yourself an award. Good for you. Yeah. Oh, that's all I want to say. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just thought Culture was laughing at that.
You didn't interrupt. I just have no idea what you're talking about. So I'm just staying quiet.
Okay. Hey, just stay out of it. Thanks, Culture, for backing me up here. Yeah, I appreciate that. You're the man.
What do you want me to say? You were eloquent in your description.
We could have like nodded. You could have given like one of those.
Look at how cute you are. Look at how cute you are. Yes, you are a cute man. You know I love you.
I'm a cute man. I'm a Leah Dahmer.
No, Leah Dahmer's disgusting. No, not my type. Okay. Here we go. Okay, on the hangar deck, everyone disembarks. Gaius is loaded alive but unconscious, and they put him in a body bag. and he's ordered straight to the brig. Starbuck spots Anders. Lee looks on. Husband and wife passionately hug. Duwala looks on. Duwala has watched Lee watching Starbuck and Anders. So I'm going to say that again. Duwala has watched Lee watching Starbuck and Anders reunite.
Kick Lee in the balls.
So it's very, very Shakespearean at this point. Lee walks to Duwala to embrace her. It's almost as if he sees her and she's an afterthought.
Exactly.
This is just gross, I put in my notes. Lee and Kara catch one another in a glance. It's clear Lee is more involved here than Kara, who seems to genuinely melt into her husband's arms.
Well, yeah, because
Hilo,
she enjoys I'm sorry. She enjoys that conflict. She enjoys being the center of that attention. She enjoys getting that adoration from other people. She enjoys stealing it from D. That
she's
shine.
rotten.
She's
just rotten in this season.
Yes. Oh, sorry. I'm done.
No, I love it. I love it. So Hilo gets his cyborg wife and toaster tot back. Six emerges and guns are drawn. Hilo and Sharon take the toaster tot to Coddle, leaving Six on the hangar deck alone. They haul her off under heavily armed guard. Back in the CIC, the senior staff tried to decipher the path to Earth. Hilo seems overly contemplative. In the bunks, Starbuck is heavily bandaged. Hilo comes in to tease her and asks her about some photographs of old paintings from Caprica. One of her paintings, an old photo of it, is pulled from her footlocker by Hilo, and it is identical to the temple symbol. Kara says she has no clue where she got the idea. It was a doodle from her childhood. Kara turns dark, recalling that Leoben told her she has a destiny, and that it had already been written, which is very weird because that's the definition of destiny. But anyway, sorry. Back on the resurrection ship, alongside a cyborg birthing tub, Cavill oversees Temple Beers' rebirth. Cavill informs her that her model is flawed and the Cylons are boxing her entire line. Beers pleads her case, but Cavill unplugs her tub, and we cut to the closing credits.
So, the one thing I'd like to mention is I liked seeing Hilo and Starbuck in that little short snippet because it reminds me that I didn't always hate her. And those two have been friends, so it's just good to see a relationship that hasn't been spoiled yet. At least a friendship.
Yeah, she's a great lady as long as you never have sex with her.
Yes, you must never sleep with that succubus. Or
don't do it. Just don't do it.
Baltar, except for Lisher Baltar, please, because I want to see you get used and dismissed like every day.
Well, that happened. She used him like a Steely Dan and basically threw him off of her bed.
Steely Dan.
It's great. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's hysterical. There's nothing funnier than watching Starbuck throw little wee Gaius off of her body after being pleasured by him.
Right. Also, guys, I'm sorry, the funniest ass. I laughed. I could not stop laughing. I rewound it. The way the Colonel Ty looks at the body in the body bag. The guy is in the body bag. And he's like, oh, he's still alive. It's like, look at the way they're treating him. Like, you're dead to us. We're going to carry you around not a stretcher. We're going to carry you around in a body bag. Like, that's what they're hoping, that this dude is dead. That was hilarious. Yes.
Hysterical. And it also gives an opportunity for Six to try and seduce the viewer again. You know, Stephen, you and I, we talked about this through season 1 and season 2, how Ronald D. Moore and his team made sure we were seduced into the idea that we too could truly love a machine, that we could believe a machine, that a machine would feel the same as we do. And so, we're beginning to start to have those fifis again for Six, now that she's gone and done what she's done, which is basically save the day and then throw herself on the mercy of these awful humans.
Well, Tricia Helfer is not only gorgeous to behold, she's wonderfully pleasing, a beautiful woman, but she has the ability to emote so well. And she's outstanding. Melt. She's outstanding. She's just one of the best actresses. I wish we had seen her in more things, because that entire scene where she's stepping off the Raptor, you can see the changes, the worry, the fear, the mock confidence, all of these different things without her even having to say a word.
Well, I've said it before and I'll say it again. She's next level. I don't know how she didn't wind up having a monster of a career.
Yes.
And I'll say the reason why. There are times when you are watching this BSG, especially in season 1 and in season 2, where you can actually see the different personalities of the models as they have been exposed to humans.
Right.
And that happens within these actresses. These actresses do this with their bodies, with their countenance. The body language and the countenance are gobsmacking. It is so compelling that there are times when you can actually see the 6 unit and know which one you're dealing with.
Yes.
Whether it is your Caprica 6 or whether it's your true Cylon 6, just by the way that the actress is comporting.
Even Angel
herself.
6 and all the different, from loving to nurturing to full of rage.
Her shoulders change, her arms change, her neck changes, her jaw changes, and just her visage, her countenance is just, it is just unbelievable. This woman is red hot, sexy, beautiful, and is so immensely talented. I don't know how she didn't wind up being like blockbuster, massive, tippy top of she
Hollywood. Missed the Weinstein couch, maybe. That might have been it,
Yeah, so that's really sad to say, but probably true.
Yeah, she just, I can't see this person, her values sinking to that point or allowing herself to. But other than that, you're absolutely right. That's the only reason, unless she decided herself not to continue a career. That's the only reason I can see for her not doing so, because one of the most immaculate performances, loving, wonderful, pleasing, not only pleasing to look at, but to watch, to see how she can change, how she can be dressed the same or just a change of an outfit, and she is an entirely different person.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And this can't be overstated, and you mentioned it, and I want to repeat it. Each of these actresses and actors, to some extent, were able to play these roles as entirely different.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it just blows my mind.
Yeah, I can't.
Just the difference between Boomer and Athena and just any other generic, version of Sharon. You had, so many different versions of 6, right? I couldn't believe it, and the thing is, she's got to play Angel 6 and Caprica 6 and, a couple other iterations of herself. It's insane. And, when you, and again, I mean, I've seen Tricia Helfner in some other stuff, and she's very good in all of it, and so is Lucy Lawless, but Lucy Lawless had a career early on. It's just, and then of course, obviously, oh my gosh, Boomer, I forget her name. It just fell out of my head.
Grace Park.
Grace Park. She had such an incredible career already, and she's still so young. I have a feeling that she has a decade worth of work, but it is criminal that we have not had more Tricia Helfner over time. I really,
I would rather watch her and doing this fine acting, especially because people turn their nose up to science fiction. They find it too nerdy, or they don't want to watch it. They find it boring because it's too cerebral. And she brought the sexy to science fiction here, and science fantasy here. And the thing is, it just blows my mind that the kind of awards that they give to science fiction people, as opposed to the type of awards they give to people who are in dramas and comedies.
Absolutely. I mean, and shout out to Nichelle Nichols, one of the OGs, beautiful woman on screen. This cast, which was led by three veterans, right? So you had Almos, McDonnell, and Michael Hogan. Right? And those characters, they went through changes, but they were pretty static in as far as who they were, especially Edward James Olmos as William Adama. Then and we had the characters that were playing the Cylons, who had to be different personalities going in. We also got to see, I mean, even some of the human characters. Jamie Bamber, he played a Lee Adama in the first season. That is not the Lee Adama I'm looking at right now. That character has changed, has evolved, devolved, is what I should say. So I think Katie Sackhoff. Well, we also got to see the Felix Alejandro. I can't remember his last name. We also got to see him become a more prominent character. We got to see Candace McClure become a more prominent character, and their acting skill and their screen presence grow. This show is one of the best that was ever made. I will always say that for a myriad of reasons. And and I thank them all for the performances they gave us, no matter how short they were, because as we said before, there are a lot of like one and done or a few episodes and done really good sci-fi actors from previous shows, or that came in and did a bang up job for an episode or 3. The casting, the directing, the stages, the writing, there's issues with the writing here and there. We point them out. We're very honest about that.
Of course.
But overall, this one of the best shows ever made. In my opinion.
I agree, especially for science fiction. Yeah, absolutely. It's right up there for me. It's right up there for me. It's in my top 5 science fiction on film of all time.
Awesome. I'm glad that you agree with me, because that makes me feel better. Because you sound smart. You sound smart. And you talk about latex and Steely Dan's. Hey, what's up, Drew? How you doing, buddy?
Drew, honey.
Good,
Are
man.
You with
Great.
us?
Great. You just swung right in there. Beware the Drew.
No, sorry about that. No,
you're fine, man.
Spectrum is having some issues right now. So sorry.
No, you're fine. You're good, dude. I mean, you can do it on the internet.
Because I'm on phone at the moment, man. So I was trying to wait till my freaking.
Don't set it on your lap, Drew. It's on your phone. StreamYards overheats the phone, and we know.
Oh, I know, dude. It wreaks havoc on a phone. I just I didn't want to join on 4G because like I said, Spectrum, my internet's being stupid at the moment. So
yes, Cavianto, Dean Stockwell. I loved him in Quantum Leap. Seeing him in the show was like, yes, I was so happy.
Dude, Dean Stockwell got really dark in this series.
He is.
He was great, though.
He was great. Yeah,
great villain. There are times when you look at Cavill and you can almost understand from his perspective the moves that he is making, the decisions that he's making.
An atheist, so he's not buying any of this cockamamie tripe.
Right.
The only thing he's concerned about is
practicalities.
Exactly, and so boxing her up, it seems quite brutal, but not when you see it from his perspective. He's not buying any of this divinity or anything else, right? So yeah,
he's logical. He's about the numbers. He's about facts and evidence.
I saw it kind of that he wanted to hold on to power. That's why he he was definitely fighting. I think he understood the power of a messianic character, in the ranks, and so he was definitely putting the kibosh on that. And again, that comes from his atheistic point of view.
Well, yeah, because she stops listening to the council, so it's not just that she has a messianic complex. It's the fact that it has now affected the power differential. So I agree with Drew, because he wants to be able to sway the council, and he wants everyone to obey the council. Thus far it's a democracy. And when that skin job council gets together, and Beers just, not only did she have plans on the side, but she wouldn't listen to a damn thing they said, no matter what they said.
Well, we've also seen Cavill.
Let's be real. He likes being in charge.
He does. He does, Drew.
And he don't want want any threat to that.
No, Drew. I have no doubt of that. But we have seen him be in the minority vote, and capitulate to the ruling of the council. Like, there is a standard that he has, and as far as the democracy of their group.
Well, sure, they have structure, but don't make no mistakes. He still wants to be the man. He's in the in the 1% of that structure, and he don't want to give up that position.
I agree with that.
Speaking of positions, TMF says porn overheats a phone as well, to which Mark D with a C responds, TMF, how do you know?
TMF is a wellspring of knowledge, Mark.
Oh, man. Oh, I love it.
So yeah, man. This episode was great. It was better. It got me engaged. This episode got me engaged, and honestly, I like the
engorged.
It got me. Oh, hold on. Where is it? I got to Messin. It got me to Messin.
Oh my!
Seeing seeing Beers go was heartbreaking. Getting her line boxed because I enjoy seeing Lucy Lawless. She's one of my favorite heroines of the '90s. As cheesy as it was, I love Xena.
Dude.
You know what I mean?
She was great in Spartacus.
She was great. Oh, absolutely. Everybody in Spartacus was fucking
all full frontal of Lucy Lawless.
Not only that, but you got that. You got okay, and they served the straights and the gays in that one, and it was also great writing, wonderful acting. That first season of Spartacus is one of the best seasons ever put to film, guys. If you just watch that one season, it's a shame. It's a shame. The lead passed away, and I can't remember his name at the moment, and I feel bad about that. But he was that part, and that was a great show. And Lucy again played an epic role, a very powerful role in that series.
I feel like I'm like typical per pointing out
I usually do that.
Full frontal, but let's
not forget the threesome in the prequel, the 6th episode.
I do it for research purposes.
Absolutely, man. You got to stay on top of these things.
May I please interrupt you? I beg your pardon. Could we please return to TMF's comment at 18 minutes past the hour, please? And Stephen or Cece, would you please read that for me?
Absolutely. Cece, you want to do that or you want me to? Okay.
The problem I've had with this show is the few number of humans they let live. For this level of intrigue and non-survival related drama, you need more people.
Really? You think that really?
I can understand where TMF's coming from, because when you watch it, man, an awful lot of people die.
Yes.
I mean, when you watch the show, yeah. I mean, it's like an awful lot of people die.
Well, I think he's also talking about this whole idea of herding cats. Imagine the burden on Adama if the fleet were just a hair larger. It's so hard to keep that many people alive and to keep all of their movements coordinated. As they whittle it down, it almost seems easier. Do you understand what I'm saying? I can see where the direction TMF is going with that. And it's an intriguing idea.
It is. No doubt about that. TMF, for all his joking around and the fact that, he's a big class clown, man. TMF is right on top of it. He's very observant.
True.
So
that is very true. That's very true. He goes from class clown to head of the class on the regular. You just have to watch for it. But yeah, I think that's an intriguing idea. It's very interesting. I think if the fleet were about double the size of what it is now, you would always be scared because as Stephen points out in that first season. Stephen's always quick to point out that the pace of knowing that so many people are dying and just the never ending chase. And so, losing people during that chase, it becomes quite traumatic, but the stakes are definitely higher when there are more people. When you get down to a single ship and you begin to just focus on that nucleus, that core crew, it can almost feel as though the job is easier to accomplish because there are fewer people to worry about. So point taken, TMF. Interesting idea.
Real quick, shout out to Andy Whitfield. Thank you, Mark and Mark, both Marks, I loved Andy Whitfield in that first season. Wonderful actor. He fought cancer, got himself in shape, performed a great season. One of the best acted seasons of television. Made me really care about that character, his wife, and everything. Then had to fight it again. And that cast tried to hold on, and they were supportive, and they gave us that 6-episode prequel to keep us satiated. But that cast carried on, and Liam came up after him. Liam in season 2 was I think a little rough, but season 3 it should not have been that final season because he was excellent. He was making that part his own. I'd also like to point out Toxic Man Flu at 11:21. or 21 after the hour.
Okay, yeah.
Adama would have dissolved the government with that few people in survival situation. Democracy is a burden, but in order to keep them together, he had to maintain some sense of normalcy. He had to some kind of structure, and I think that was the reason. Well, no, I think that wasn't the only reason, but that was one of the reasons why he wasn't willing to create a dictatorship or a military-led. But he realized the necessity for at least some form of democracy, some form of government, something for the people to believe in, because at this point they had nothing. Everything was taken from them. They were on the run. It was, they needed something to believe in. They needed a symbol. Sometimes people need symbols. Thank you, Toxic. Yeah, absolutely. Dead Man. Rewatch the series, or at least catch up with us.
What is happening with Avatar? I beg your pardon, Mr. Walton. What is going on with Dead Man Walking 55?
That's a dad man.
That is a what?
That's a dad man walking.
Oh, Dad Man. Sorry, I'm not looking at the print. I just jumped over it because I'm just transfixed by the Avatar.
Yes, that's something that would wake up like at the witching hour in your house if you had a bunch of them, and would tie you down and torture you, or would come to life and turn you into a shrunken head. That's what that is.
Okay, is that a puppet? And is it made of wood?
Yeah, it's definitely a puppet. Is it made of wood?
Okay. Yeah, I'm just curious.
Maybe it's latex.
Well, no, I'm thinking about craft here. Is that something that you make? Do you make these puppets?
Let's see. That's from the Trilogy of Terror, the ABC movie 1975. Nice.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you for that. Okay, yeah.
That's from a famous TV-made movie, and I don't even know. I'm going to admit, I don't even know.
I've never heard
of it.
I'm just Canadian.
If I look up Trilogy of Terror, will I find it? Just guys, let me know, and I'll check it out.
It chased a woman around an apartment, very creepy. A possessed tiki doll. Oh, it's a tiki doll.
I'm down. That's actually what I envisioned, was some kind of a horror with dolls that came to life. That's pretty cool.
Scary for me. No, Mark, I'm not watching that. You already know me, Mark. Mark, you and I are friends. We spend a lot of time together. I would not be able to watch that. It's way too scary for me.
It's that. Hail to the chat. Thank you guys for being here. We appreciate you being here every week. Dadman said he might start watching these episodes again and come back next week. So I'm looking forward to that.
All right.
That's what we're here to do, really, is spread the love, man. Get people re-engaged with a great franchise, something that hasn't been spoiled yet. Sorry. I have no faith. I have no faith. Right. They gave Discovery a fourth season.
Did we make it to the end where we give the ratings, or
nah, we've just been sure. Why don't you go ahead and give it your rating?
Oh, okay. I think this was a 8. I think I give it an 8. I think it did a very good job of telling a very difficult story, and the episode improved at the very end because it gave us a satisfying unconscious Gaius moment, which I really enjoyed in the body bag, and
yes, so many satisfying moments.
Love it, Cece.
It briefly went downhill because of some of the stuff that just seemed like a disconnect, like we talked about very early in the episode, where it's like, why would you kill her knowing full well that she would spill the beans? It creates a very bad tactical circumstance, and it doesn't guarantee that you'll get to your toaster tot. I mean, they might already consider you a traitor. So there were a lot of problems with that, in my opinion. But there we are.
Okay.
So Parrot Head called me a wimp. Parrot Head. Do you know what I mean? Like, Parrot Head called me a wimp.
Yeah, well, Dadman said it that it gave him nightmares as a kid. So you should totally watch it.
Exactly. And then Mark D with a C says, Richard Matheson wrote it, Raquel. Not too scary by today's standards, laughing out loud. Okay, Mark D with a C. Is it more frightening than the scarier episodes of Fantasy Island? Because I watched many of those from behind a pillow. So let's use Fantasy Island as a gauge. If it's more frightening than that, or perhaps like The Island of Dr. Moreau, reading that novel scared the crap out of me. So,
Yeah.
especially the beach scene. Reading it was terrible. It scared the crap out of me. Anyway, moving on. Sorry about that.
No, absolutely not. Dad Man Walking at 20 after the hour said, I will say I loved the original Battlestar Galactica as a kid and didn't think I would like this version. I was wrong and enjoyed it a lot. I had a lot of trepidation myself. Because I loved the original. And as I've stated before, the original series gave me a lot of interest in ancient culture and other things in the sci-fi, through sci-fi. So I didn't know if I'd like this one. It was 33 had me.
Yes.
That's what happened. As soon as I watched episode 1, season 1, I was hooked.
It's a gooder.
Yeah. So thank you, Ming. Okay, I guess I'll give my review. I give this one not only a 9 but a 9.6. Yes, because I love Duala. Candace got a lot of shine in this one. I love that character. It's not just that she's aesthetically pleasing to me. She's also a really good actor. It got me to hate. It continued me on this road of hating my heroes. Mm-hmm. When that gets me emotionally involved, I enjoy that. Callus is a turd. Seeing him in the body bag at the end was great. Just the way they just were dismissive with this jack off. Beers. I mean, it was. I love seeing Lucy Lawless. This was also kind of an ending of her lines, and I love Dean Stockwell. I got a lot of him in this episode. I enjoy him so much. This episode was thoroughly entertaining for all of the problems. Every time I yelled at it, like at a character, like I can't stand you right now, it had me engaged. So yes, the reason that it gets a 0.6 is because it's not every day that a husband can just shoot his wife and he's good.
Yeah. That's a little something, isn't it?
That's why I paused
after that. That's why I paused after that. If you're like, well,
Right. No, I'm just like, I can't believe. What are you doing? Like, oh my God.
Yeah. And the thing is who cleaned up their quarters?
Right. Was he cleaning up? Was he crying? Was he, you know what I mean? Like, was he, what a psychological mind F.
I'll see you next week, baby.
To go through that event together as a couple, to sacrifice the potential of leaking out secrets to about the entire fleet through her resurrection, him doing that, the sacrifice of it, just the mental gymnastics that has to go through a person's mind.
Like imagine you're a super manly man, okay, and you're like you're a manly man. And you just one day you just snap your crayons and you punch your spouse, male or female. I would just like to say that that would change you and it would alter your relationship forever.
Yes.
If we are to believe that Hilo is indeed in love with this skin job and has been completely seduced by the idea that she is human. Wow, imagine that relationship. You're making love one night and you just say, hey, do you remember that time we went to Mexico and we had Mai Tais? Hey, do you remember that night that I splattered your guts all over that wall? Right. And then I had some minion come in here and clean it up for me? Like, for me, it's a little over the top.
Yeah.
So I can't give the episode that high of a rating. So
but Billy Bob Thornton. An 8. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Yeah, I just enjoyed it thoroughly. Imagine if Billy Bob Thornton and Angelina Jolie were Cylons 15 years ago.
Yeah, they could be licking the wall. Billy would lick the wall. She would lick the wall.
Over and over.
They would be licking the wall. It would be the episode would be called Rapture. The walls are bleeding. You know what I mean? Like they would be enamored with their own body fluids.
Exactly. Well said. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead, sweetie. Why are you giving?
Steven.
Why do you give it an 8? What is your reasons? What do you like?
For the exact reason that I discussed with you. That's why I like to piggyback on you because I enjoy your company immensely.
Well, you can jump on my back anytime. You can jump on my back anytime you want and plug your mind into my thoughts. It's scary in here. and there might be some little tiki dolls running around trying to chase you.
No tiki dolls. Yeah. Anyway, great points. I love you to bits, and yeah, I got to do the 8 for the exact reason that we just discussed, which is the honey, can I splatter you on the wall? I'll see you next week.
Right.
When meanwhile, there are people who will ruin a relationship on a harsh word,
Right.
or a disrespect, or perhaps someone who has lost their temper and thrown a pizza box across the room or something. That's enough to end a relationship. But gunning one's spouse down in order to create a bucket full of blood splattered on the wall is yeah.
That's intense. I mean, and just the what Agathon, what he must have gone through, what he's going through, what he has. This guy's been tortured emotionally since season 1, what Athena taking that chance was, putting the entire fleet at risk. I really liked a lot of the moments and how the characters made me feel throughout this episode, which is why I gave it a high rating.
No, it's funny because the episode sticks with me too. So I believe that your high rating is valid. It's just, for me, I get sometimes I get stuck on these nuances, or I as a social scientist, I delve too much into the societal implication of that type of messaging, and then I go away with it and consider it. You and I were quite harsh on when Chief Tyrrell went, and snapped his crayons, and he suffered nothing. There was no punishment. It was just beyond bizarre. So this is one of those moments for me, Stephen.
Okay, thank you, Raquel. What about you, Drewy? What do you think?
Well, for me, I know back when I watched this episode, this one had me transfixed. It was really good. I really liked, as you guys were just elaborating on, the very agonizing thing that you had to go through watching Hilo agree to, basically give in to his wife when it was painful for him to do that. I mean, that's like euthanization on steroids. I mean, it's ridiculous.
It's an execution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like telling your significant other to kill you, and it's like,
well, no, that's exactly what happened. But
yeah.
Anyway,
I mean,
if you buy into the idea that the cyborg is human, are you guys aware that Cece just sent you a 4-alarm fire to the private chat herein? I think you folks are running out of time. You're in a desperate circumstance to get to our friend Comics Division's stream. Okay. So I think you folks better cut loose and run.
But yeah, as I was saying, just to summarize, though, this episode was very good. It was very riveting. It held the viewer. I have to agree and give it an 8 as well. So
beautiful.
All right, culture.
Oh, I'm still.
He already gave his. He already gave his rating.
Yeah, you guys were 8s, and I went up to the moon.
No.
We've heard about
I
that.
like your honesty.
Yeah, no, we've heard about that, Stephen, with you and.
All right, Dick. Yeah. I love you guys. Hail the chat. Thank you for being here.
Yes.
An asshole.
Guys, thank you so much for bearing with my issues, chat. I know it's been really rough for me. I've been going through kind of streaming withdrawal. Not being able to do my thing. I know I tweeted that the other day. God, I wish I could do a High Heresy stream right now. It's been bugging me. There's going to be possibly a temporary resolution tomorrow. I have to go back and see the tech guy that I saw the day after my computer blew up, because he might have a resolution for me. So, just bear with me. And I want to thank, CC and Raquel and Stephen for continuing to really keep the ship afloat in my stead. And
thanks, brother.
Thank you so much for thank you for making sure that the show does go on and it is at the quality level that it's always been. I love the three of you.
I love you,
you
too,
are
man.
you
I
are
love
family.
you too. Thank you so much.
I gotta roll
Cece,
because
for
if I don't
what
make
you did tonight.
If I don't make fun
go.
of Comics Division very gay opening, I have to do that. Love you guys.
Get
All
out
right.
of here. Go. Just go.
Yeah. And thank you, chat. We will see you next week here on Pegasus Actual Podcast. Take care of yourselves and each other. So say we all.
So say we all.
Say we all.